Craig, want to share my unpopular opinion. Sorry in advance. That's all right, my man. That's all right. But I feel VVD and Allison are making Ibu look better than he is. 200k, no chance. Now, I might be speaking out of turn here, but I don't know how unpopular an opinion that actually really is. Because I would be a liar if I told you that I didn't think that at times. Look, I'm not going to sit here and try to say Ibrahim Konate is not a good defender. He is. But I do think that he gets carried sometimes by Virgil. And I do think that he makes mistakes. I do think that his decision making is questionable at times. And like I said a few weeks ago, I don't see him as a 200 grand defender. The only change to that fact would be that Virgil just signed a new deal on pretty high money, and Konate will want to be recognised and paid probably more than we would want to pay him because of that. So, I mean, I'll be interested to see what the chat think. Let's put that to a poll, because I genuinely think it's interesting to discuss how far along Konate is, because I don't think he's the finished product. I don't think he's anywhere near the levels of Virgil. Sometimes I look at Konate and I feel like he's an absolute Rolls Royce and looks cool, calm and collected. Other times I look at him and he looks a little bit dazed, a little bit lackadaisical. So let's ask, is he worth 200k a week, and see what the viewers say. Muckrap said, in my opinion, Virgil and Ibu have been pretty poor for a month or two, excluding the Spurs game. Look, mate, I made my views about our defence yesterday pretty clear. I thought they were shocking against Arsenal, the centre-backs. I thought the full-backs were all right, but I thought the two centre-backs were shocking. The goals we conceded were, I'm hoping, put down to the fact that we hardly trained last week and that the lads had a few days off and were, I don't know, maybe mentally half on the beach when we were 2-0 up, because some of the chance... Actually, do you know what? That's not even fair, because we were conceding chances earlier than going 2-0 up as well. It just... We look so vulnerable from set pieces. It's worrying. Every time we concede a corner or a free kick, which we seem to love to give away in these wide positions, more often than not, the opposition team gets a shot on goal from it. Ivo said, I can't understand why people are moaning so much about Konate. He's not even that good. And for 50 to 80 million, we can buy a much better defender. I don't know if people are moaning that much, to be fair. I think people are just concerned, mate, about what's going to happen. You know, we're at a situation where we're going into next season and we don't know if one half of the central defensive partnership is going to be sold because we can't agree a new deal with them. So it certainly feels like this is another headache that we have to contend with as Liverpool fans before we even get into the strengthening the squad. Now we still have a conversation about keeping the core of the squad together. Now look, we got 2 out of 3 done with the 3 that their contracts are up. Virgil, Mo, new deals. Trent obviously departing. And we don't want the Konate headache as well, because as we know, he's got 1 year to go. So it wouldn't be the end of the world if the club can't agree. I fully back the club that if they have a number that they don't think there's value at. On this one, I kind of would stand with the club and think, okay, there are centre-back options out there now. And yes, it would be great to keep Ibu, and that would be what I want to do. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. If he goes, he goes. If he goes, it'll be because he doesn't think Liverpool are giving him a deal that is fair value to him. And the club will have their number that they don't want to go past. And again, as long as we get the signings in that we need, if it's a case of Konate goes out and we bring in Hoyson, happy days. If it's a case that Konate stays and we sell Kwanzaa and we bring in a Hoyson, or then maybe we bring in a Mark Gay, so be it as well. I just don't want any more uncertainty, because this season has been a weird one where we've had that uncertainty and that nagging doubt at the back of our minds all the way through the year. Oh, lads, it's 50-50. It's honestly 50-50. We've had 1,670 votes and the poll is still 50-50. So let's end it there. Is Ibrahim Konate worth £200,000 per week? And after 1,600 votes, it's 50-50. So if we can't decide as fans, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what the club's going to decide. That's a very interesting read on that situation, because deep down, I don't think he is worth it, but I would probably rather him get it than us lose it, if that makes sense. I think we'd be overpaying, but I do think we're at the point of having to overpay because we've let it go this long if we want to keep him. it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think he's about 150 grand a week defender in my eyes. But, do you pay the extra because you've let it get this long? Not for me to decide, but we'll see. 50-50 though, that's crazy. Kev Parker said, "We're the Premier League champions, Craig. We shouldn't have to be in the situation with Ibu. There'll be so many centre-backs wanting to join us, especially where we're heading, so let him go." Now, look, I don't want this to be a situation when we start to vilify Ibrahim Konate either, because Konate has not said anything to suggest he doesn't want to stay. So, this is one of those situations where I genuinely don't know what Ibu's thinking, and I don't know what the club's thinking is. I would imagine all parties concerned would want to come to an agreement, but what we do know is there are clubs who would be more than happy to tempt Ibu with probably more money than Liverpool are going to offer him. So will that be a matter of somebody being motivated by money, or somebody being motivated partially by money, but also by a good environment to play football in, a team that's going to challenge and win trophies? I don't know the answer to these, but I don't think Ibu, he doesn't strike me as somebody who's going to shaft us, if that makes sense. I have faith that he will enter into these negotiations sincerely, but I can't say how they come out. That's, if somebody has a hard line number that they're not going below and somebody else has a red line that they're not going to compromise on, I don't know how that works out, but I hope he stays because I want him to stay. The one I'm concerned about and have questions about is Kwanzaa. He's more likely that I'd sell him if I was looking to sell a centre-back. I just want us to sort out Ibu one way or the other and quickly. No more lengthy, drawn-out crap. Keep him awesome. He goes. There are other options out there we can bring in because we're Liverpool. Wesley, I agree with you. I'm in the very same mental space as you, mate, over the whole situation there with Ibu. I want him to stay, but I'm not going to lose any sleep if he decides he wants to move on. Yeah. Trent situation's one that hit me a lot harder, but, I love Ibu. I do. I love him as a character, but I do agree with many of the comments that there are other centre-backs who could come in and do a very good job alongside the best centre-back in world football. And we are Liverpool Football Club, and we are Premier League champions, and we are a club trending in the right direction. And I agree with everybody who said footballers should be tripping over themselves to come and play for us. I agree with all of that. So let's hope that happens, because I think we're all agreeing on most of the stuff in here. We are Liverpool Football Club. And I know we as fans often talk about that from a sense of, banding together and sticking together. But if you are a footballer looking at a project to join, let's look at Dean Huyson right now as an example. So he has a situation where he could go to Arsenal and compete with Saliba and Gabriel. He could go to Chelsea and sign a 4,000-year Sea Org length contract that keeps him there. He's like my little Sea Org. Hope you got that little reference. To keep him there forever and make him a load of dough. And that's a project that is still shaky because you don't know what direction Chelsea are fully going in. Or he could come to Liverpool and genuinely see himself challenging Ibrahim Konate to get in alongside Virgil, or to see a manager and a club going in the right direction who are investing in him. And I think we're a really, really attractive proposition. Now, there are certain positions I wouldn't come near Liverpool for. If I was a goalkeeper, no way. Not if Alisson Becker's in front of me. We can sit here and have this argument about somebody wanting to come in and challenge for a spot, but let's be honest, he's the best in the world. You're not going to come in and displace him. So I wouldn't be touching it with a barge pole. But if I was a young striker, or a striker who is going to be on the move this summer, or a midfield option, or a left back, man, Liverpool would genuinely be right at the top of so many footballers' wish lists.